Well, I do see continued momentum from the business community, although I think most of my members would say we still need strong policy signals to emerge that create a carbon pricing signal that they can invest around. But there have been some natural trends of late in increasing renewable share of the mix and then increasing natural gas's share of the electricity mix in many places, thanks to low-cost gas supplies that are coming in a big way in places like the U.S. So in the U.S., for example, we have seen many more coal-fired power stations that are old and decrepit starting to shut down and being replaced by brand spanking new natural gas plants.
Right. Powered often by shale gas, which is a good thing according to some people, not such a good thing according to others. And then until we get more information, until we're more cognizant of exactly what the long-term effects are, I mean, is that a good way forward? Is that the right way forward?
Well, I do expect that environmental regulators in the U.S. are going to be paying very close attention to impacts on water and impacts on air from and on climate from developments in shale gas. So I don't think that story's over with, and I know that there's a lot of really smart people working on that in the U.S., but still, the amount of supplies that are already coming to market are incredible compared with what we saw back in a decade ago. And it really is changing the complexion about how people think about electricity production in the U.S. and in many other places.
The side events you've got organised here, what are they focusing on?
Well, the bulk of our work is around the importance of market mechanisms and taking business forward and its ability to address climate change cost effectively. So in Durban last year, there was an agreement to begin work on a new market mechanism that has a lot of the business community quite interested, because we're interested in how that might make investment flow more quickly and more easily to good clean energy projects around the world. So some of our sessions are around the design of new market mechanisms. Others are around how the Green Climate Fund might work alongside those new mechanisms. We're also continuing to be interested in the linkages between many of the existing emissions trading programs around the world, and then finally the improvements to the CDM, which has been a sort of a trusted supplier of offsets to the global market in recent years, and it's due for an overhaul here, and so we're interested to see what additional improvements might come on the CDM.
Is there still some reticence, some reluctance on the part of the international business community to invest in green energy products? Are they still not convinced that it is a sensible way forward?
Well, I would say that they're awaiting a policy signal. There's a lot of private capital on the sidelines looking for a good place to go to earn returns. There's a whole lot of interest in green energy, but the policy signals are not completely clear for business to know exactly how they should invest and what opportunities they should go after. That's what's so important about these talks, is these talks are about getting that architecture in place so that money begins to flow again. There was a period when the CDM was attracting large amounts of private capital, but in recent times that's been slowing down because of this lack of clarity about exactly where could you use a CDM credit in the future, or will a country where you're looking at building a CDM project be eligible for CDM, or is it going to be eligible for new market mechanisms? So there's some big questions and uncertainties that businesses face.
I mean, presumably one of the things you're doing here is to make that lack of clarity known. Do you get the impression that they're listening, that the politicians, the people putting forward these policies are listening to that message?
Well, you always wonder, but I do think that we have a voice that is respected in the halls of the COPs, and we're certainly gratified when we're invited to present at workshops that the parties host, and that's happened multiple occasions this year. So in many respects, I believe now more than ever, negotiators are open to the views of the private sector because they've seen what we could do in the CDM, and they know that the private sector has got to be a part of the solution in the future. So they want to draw us into the debate and into the design of the new systems of the future.